Thanks a million for clicking on this video, everybody, and please stay tuned for the Caddicarus episode all about Condemned Criminal Origins. Can't wait, because first I'd love to thank Bounty, the sponsors for today's video. Bounty are a really cool service that gives you reward cards and cash towards PlayStation, Xbox, Amazon, iTunes, and many other places for films and games alike. And all you have to do in return is download and check out other random free apps within the app, and you can even delete them if you don't like them without affecting the points and rewards you're saving up through the app. This is also a little bit different from other apps and services like this in the sense that there are also achievement-styled mini rewards to unlock the more you play a game or use the app that you've downloaded, constantly rewarding you for messing around on your phone, which, let's be honest, we all do a lot anyway. All of the information and the links you need are in the description below, and if you use the code JimBob, you can get the gift cards a little bit quicker. Yes, Jim Bob. I'm gonna leave you on Jim Bob.
I look hello wild. Tonight, Caddy joins the hunt.
Caddy!
Oh, Kez. Well, some say Keres.
Yeah. Where have you been? We've been looking for you for hours. What are you doing out here?
The blood moon swings low tonight. And there are many a beast prowling the fields. Someone needs to take care of them.
Shut up. It's cold, it's real life, and no one is out there.
You're a beast!
What?
That is something a beast would say!
I'm going home.
Die, you foul creature! I need your echoes!
Dying and coming back to life again feels like wearing the same pair of pants for 3 days in a row. And they're all sweaty. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Month of Terror! And yeah, I know it's November. Fuck you. For the 2017 Caddicarus Halloween special, I wanted to do an episode all about one of my favourite horror games of all time, Condemned Criminal Origins, the game where you play as a detective following clues left behind by a demented serial killer to try catching them, all while figuring out who framed you for the murder of your policeman buddies on that same case. Oh, and by the way, all of the locals are going violently insane and you need to figure out that while you play too. After I got my Xbox One the other week to play Q-Feed, I noticed that one of the benefits of owning the console was that I could play a fair amount of Xbox 360 games that I never managed to try out last generation. Wouldn't you know, Condemned, this weird PC horror game I played years ago, mixing films like Seven and Saw and games like Fear and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, was one of the very games that I could play on the system. Yeah, I could have played it on PC, but this is just a lot more fun, isn't it? And if you've never played this game before, well, by the end of today, I hope that I can convince you to give it a try. Condemned is one of the few games I've played that is able to make me really nervous and twitchy, while at the same time have an immensely fun time playing it. It gets the balance between spooks and satisfaction just right. And I can hardly wait to dive into it yet again for a Caddicarus episode, so what better game to cover for this Halloween? A little bit late. Silent Hill? What's that? Like all of the most sophisticated horror games in history, Condemned begins with a jump scare.
Thomas.
I find that very offensive. We are Ethan Thomas, SCU agent with overly enhanced senses, headaches that let him see paranormal spiritual energy left behind by killers at crime scenes, and he's an all-around great guy who's been sent in with a small team into the latest crime scene of a murderer that they've been tracking known as the Matchmaker. And I'm not sure why he's called the Matchmaker, but they do find a lot of no, and even more nope. The creepiness is also not helped out by how everyone looks like haggis.
Your stupid car broke my light. Better turn yours on. I hear you're afraid of the dark.
What are you talking about, mate? Don't get snippy with me. You had your torch on just now, you fucking wuss. Don't go pointing fingers at me. If there's anything we can say about this game this early on, it's that kicking is hilarious. Look at it, Ethan's foot just kind of comes out of his chest wherever his body is positioned to thrust things away like a leaf blower, and the noise your foot makes couldn't be more perfect. And what about these sounds of you walking up and down the stairs? Wouldn't it be great if they matched what your legs were doing? Okay, I may love this game, but when you go into it, you need to accept that it has aged a little bit. It's a bit old and janky in a few places. Everyone really does look like haggis. Oh no, I've lost my gun after that fall, so all I can do is find anything to defend myself with. Yeah, this looks good. And at least I do have my taser. Yeah, I'm fully ready for police work now. Tasering people and then bludgeoning them to death with metal. I don't remember that in the bill. Oh yes, baby, I've got a fire axe now. Don't you dare go messing with me, anyone. Okay, well, you messed with me while I had my fire axe. You're a brave man. Hey, looky, I found an Xbox. That's adorable. But my Xbox 360 that I got ages ago red lit me in about 3 weeks, so fuck you. I know right now I'm doing nothing but just tickling this game under the arm because it's a cheeky little imp, but seriously, I really have to talk about the combat here. You can find handguns and shotguns in the levels, but this is rare, and you have barely any shots and can't reload magazines, so 85% of your playtime is dedicated to the brutal, visceral, and totally in-your-face and satisfying melee combat. Whatever you pick up feels like it has proper presence and weight whenever you swing it, and enemies all react to your swings with big and small items alike exactly how you'd expect, depending on where you hit them. The vibrations on the controller and chunky, nasty sound design makes every successful hit feel like it reverberates into real life, and it's not only awesome at making you feel completely in the moment when somebody surprises you around a corner and forces you to confront them as uncomfortably close as possible, but the enemies all do the same damage to you as you do to them, making the whole combat system tense and thrilling since you die pretty easily. So to stop yourself from dying, you can guard for a second in order to stagger an enemy's swing and protect yourself if you time it perfectly, but it doesn't mean that they won't swing straight back, and the same goes for if you hit them. Half the time you can hit them in a certain place, causing them to use the momentum of your attack to swing immediately back, so once you get the hang of reading every subtle individual enemy animation and get into a perfect guard, attack, and rally combo without getting touched, it makes you feel like a god. Well, I say a god, but look at that fucking face. Are you okay there, Ethan? You know, aside from looking like Thomas the Tank Engine. It also turns out that this dickhead killer that killed our cop buddies also framed us for their murders, so that's pretty shit. Luckily though, we have a strange individual named Van Horn, an old friend of our dad's, talking to us and who wants to prove our innocence. Plus, my lovely secret agent friend Rosa believes I didn't do anything. Which is really lucky, or else we wouldn't have anybody to give us the tutorials. We head straight for the apartment of a suspect who's been pointing a camera in my face for some reason, and we end up actually finding a huge collection of photos of me in my apartment. I feel like I've been stroked.
I remember that hideous sofa from last year's Christmas party.
Rosa, there's a time and a place to joke about my furniture, and this is not the time. And after looking around the apartment block for news about Louis Theroux and some good old tasty cheese poos, we come up to... Seriously, I can't gush about the melee combat in this game enough. It feels so good to use, and it's just so fun to hit everything. Yeah, fuck TV, fuck rubbish, fuck canned drinks, fuck microwaves, fuck dead birds. Forget I said that. Oh yeah, about those dead birds. There's a lot of them in this game, and they have some kind of connection to the people all turning into the Sith. So in order to discover more about that, we had to collect them. Yeah, collecting dead or dying birds. And he's wondering why everyone thinks he killed his friends. Look into the mirror once in a while, Ethan. Or don't, because, I mean, with a face like that, I'd have a cardiac arrest just looking at it. Along with collecting dead birds, though, that is not the only thing you do in Condemned to make it feel like you're a detective solving a conspiracy. In certain points, you can use special forensic evidence tools to find fingerprints, highlighted liquids, follow near invisible trails while battling people around you, and even taking pictures of evidence to send back to Rosa. And these aren't too difficult or anything, but do contribute to the feeling of you being a detective going around and solving grisly crime scenes. And especially when you're given free run of the stage using these tools as a guide instead of just a one-off mini-game to help find evidence, it adds a lot to the atmosphere. And I mean, how much more like a detective could you feel as you're running around an abandoned subway station being a detective? This is what they do, right? Speaking of the atmosphere as well, Danny fucking Elfman. It's laid on thicker than whale sitting on Joey Essex's face. It's dripping in total desolation and dread, and every time I explore through this game, I never feel safe. The sound design, much like in the punchy combat, is absolutely impeccable and can really freak you out with the distant wailing and painful shrieks of the insane homeless people ready to kill you, and all the abandoned buildings creaking, spluttering, and falling apart around you and off camera makes you feel as though the level is out to get you as much as its inhabitants. Combined with a lack of music and tons of eerie droning wind noises and low distorted bass loops, it can get pretty jumping. And that lighting, oh that lighting. Every character may look like haggis, but the lighting and the textures it bounces off of couldn't be better for the time this game came out. And for 2005, it still looks great today. Sunlight looks eerily natural, but never as a safe haven. Sparks of electricity and lights flickering on and off are ridiculously immersive. You will be twitching at your own shadow more times than I can tell you, and the level of dreary darkness the game reaches all the time makes your torch your best friend, but also your worst enemy with all of the shadows it can create and all of the awful demented things you end up unintentionally highlighting against the darkness. Since you die pretty easily in this game, every single time you get jumped on isn't cheap in my opinion because of how on edge you are in the first place and how every single jump scare in the game indicates danger. You may get a surprise, yes, but you can't recover and get over it because a few seconds later you'll be dead, so this makes every movement of something on screen and every sound you hear your potential end, which is badass. The game also tricks you constantly and breaks its own established rules on how to scare you constantly, catching you off guard all the time, especially when slightly paranormal stuff starts happening from the halfway point onwards. It's constantly unpredictable in how it scares you and it only makes it more enjoyable, and it's never as stale and repetitive as enemies leaping at you constantly. It likes to toy with you and then cut you up when you aren't looking, evil bastard.
Speaking of evil bastards, that's just reminded me. Honey? Honey? Where are you? Hello? Honey? Honey? Where are you?
Thank God, there you are.
Oh, Kes. Or some say Keris.
Look, I've been looking for you all night. Can you just come home? We're all really worried sick about you.
Well, joke's on you, because when you knocked me out earlier, I respawn at home. I've been at home this whole time, you fucking moron. Oh shit, I'm dead, aren't I? Oh, that's horrible. Where were we?
So after some juicy sleuthing, we deduced that the framing killer is hiding out in some train station maintenance tunnels. And seriously, tunnels and horror games go hand in hand, don't they? They're so much fun, full of corridors, endless darkness, scary corners, cupboards that hide... These are the men's toilets for a train station. And there's only one toilet and one urinal. Did nobody think of the queuing?
Where are you from? Darkest Peru. I'm not really supposed to be here at all.
And off he goes, back to his home country. The trail has gone cold now though, but we've got another lead, which luckily enough is nice and safe inside an abandoned shopping mall with mannequins standing around everywhere with spotlights shining upwards at them. No. Oh no. Even better is the fact that enemies are now deciding to disguise themselves as the mannequins by casing their skin in wax, and they all move really stiffly and look really fucked up and like to stand still until you aren't looking at them, and then they move, and Jesus, this is horrible.
Oh shit, it's behind me, Avert thine eyes, children, avert thine eyes!
Ever wanted to play through a version of that Doctor Who episode when all the storm models come to life and try killing people, except in an abandoned building in the pitch blackness being smashed in the head by the models themselves? Well then this is the game for you. Honestly, this whole bit is pretty great, and then this segment here coming up, where you don't know what is real life or hallucinations anymore, when the mannequins start stalking you whenever you aren't looking, is a highlight. No matter how many times I replay this game, it still gets me. I swear these things appear in different places every time in strange cult-like formations, and I can't explain any of it. It's just fucking freaky. Especially when you finally escape them and then look up. Oh, hello. I can't wait to get out of here, but first we discover that, well, this is the serial killer we've been searching for at the very start of the game. The same missing finger and fingerprints are the same. Everything's here. So what's going on? There's another killer involved, and it may be the guy who framed me. Let's just get a picture of this guy's face for reference, though. Yeah, I'm sure nothing bad will happen here. Yeah, see? I told you. Oh shit, I've been ambushed. Let's get ready for a brawl. Oh, well... He didn't look like he just killed him there. He just kind of gently placed that bar on his chest. How pleasant of him.
Dawson, I could use some help here.
Oh, so you're looking for Dawson? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint that I'm not Dawson, but I'll help you out anyway. Come here.
So because of all the disturbance going on, the police have been called to inspect this building, which is fantastic news, isn't it? Because the police are my friends. Let's get our buddies together and crack this case together.
Oh, wait, I've been framed, haven't I?
Yeah, we've got to run. Run until the cows come home, and after we're done slaughtering absolutely everybody in sight, we then narrowly avoid the worst policeman of all time that didn't see me kick the door down very loudly and didn't even check the door that's slightly ajar behind him. Now, why don't they arrest him? For being shit. Maybe I should talk more about the game. Well, okay, along with the combat, a lot of this game involves scrambling around finding whatever weapon you can to defend yourself with. Guns and the ammo inside them can only be checked with a button press, leaving you to remember what's in the clip after you're done checking, and of course when it's even safe to do so. Enemies don't just melee attack you and like to rip things off of the walls and pick things off of the floor to smack you down, but can also shoot you, giving you a great risk and reward enemy type, since the quicker that you can run into a gunning enemy and kill them, the more ammo in the gun that you can loot from them when they die. play, but if you play it safer and stay back, which is very understandable, guns can kill you quickly, you may not have any ammo left to use in that gun at all.
Seriously, this shit is so fucking hot. Oh, that's
Much better.
It's also great how all of the costs and benefits of each and every weapon is visible right on the screen compared to what you're holding at that moment, with simple categories and red and green colours to show where it succeeds and fails, giving you no wasted time when deciding to pick the thing up or not. Personally, I always went for fast swings and fast responsive blocking whenever I could. And not only do enemies pick up other weapons, guns, rip things off of the walls and steal items from their dead friends, but also the AI in general is surprisingly smart for the time. Every encounter feels important and it's never a simple, they just jumped out, now kill him situation. Enemies like to trick you into thinking they're going to hit you, making you guard prematurely and opening yourself up for their second attack. They run around and constantly hide behind things if you don't kill them in time. They like to circle around you and get behind you. And all of this sounds very daunting, but one thing that makes this a little less frightening is that all of the enemies have been made overly aggressive. So if they accidentally start hitting each other, they will fight each other, which not only looks bloody hilarious and turns everything into a Three Stooges routine, but also ends up being tons of fun joining in to pummel the piggy in the middle to death, or sit back and watch it all unfold. It adds to the realism and has gameplay benefits. It's quirky, I like it, so shut up. No, Rosa, not you. Please don't shut up, Rosa. You're cool. So cool, in fact, that we should go meet up in the library and try solving the case together. And oh, look at this. Not only are we finding out more about this mysterious killer, but Rosa looks even more remarkably like Haggis than Ethan. And check this out. They have my favourite drink of all time in these vending machines. Dick Squish.
Dick Squish. It's free and you never run out of it.
Of course, this is still a horror game though, so Rosa gets separated from you, brilliant, and we get left with... What is that? I hate all of these long, dark corridors of shelves. It really feels like something can just reach in through the gaps and grab me any second.
Jesus, Thomas, it took you long enough.
That took me long enough? Bitch, do you have any idea what I've been through? I nearly died! Don't you start that with it. Look! See? There! Did you see it? That was going to kill me! Oh, of course, you're not looking. You didn't see it, of course. Shut up, bitch!
Honey, we need to talk.
Oh, Kes.
Yeah, well, you see, I have a very serious...
Well, some say Keres. So we go over to a local
school looking for a missing gym teacher that ratted out this new serial killer that we're looking for when he was a lot younger. And after some spooky happenings and finding this poor teacher's lips ripped off, an arm hanging from a basketball hoop, I performed the most brutally sounding kill in the game right here in the spectator stands. I am so proud I captured that. Let's have it again one more time. Oh yeah. Okay, well I want to fight the huge demented dinner lady to steal her stupidly overpowered meat cleaver. I am going to enjoy this.
This is for mediocre baguettes. This is for splashing sauce all over me. This is for not giving me my change properly. This is for smelling bad. This is...
Oh dear, looky here. We found poor old Mr. Tibbets hiding in a locker. He looks rather dead. I think we're a bit late. Yeah, Rosa, I agree. I think we need some pictures of him. This is now an official crime scene.
Image seems to match personnel file. It didn't come through properly though. Can you take a close-up?
Oh, okay then, no worries. I'll just zoom it in and get a fresh picture.
Help me.
Help is on the way. Who did this to you?
Ethan! Dude! How are you not screaming and running out of the building? What is wrong with you? And now he's dead, great, so I browned in my trousers for absolutely no reason. I should mention that there is a little bit of backtracking in the game, but it's not a big deal really. The only time it's slightly annoying is when you need a particular weapon to access a room, and you didn't pick it up earlier because you preferred whatever weapon you were already holding at the time. But the levels aren't too big where this could be a huge problem, and the rewards of hidden shotguns in some rooms, absolutely essential health packs, and of course the route to progression works out nice enough in the end. The backtracking leads on perfectly onto my favourite bit of the game though, when you're in a huge estate house using forensic tools to follow trails left by the other killer that you've now discovered exists in order to find a message hidden in multiple clues. You found out that this guy not only framed you but also copied all of the other serial killer methods on the serial killers themselves that you've been discovering throughout the game, so you really feel this oppressive weight of the end of the game arriving, and all of the things popping up around every damn corner inside the familiar location of a family house hit a little too close to home for me, and it freaked me the fuck out more than once. You're left to wander around the house in your own time, fight off threats that reappear, giving you no solid idea if you're going the right way, and even have to find the secret room of this house on your own. And just when you start feeling like you're winning, after taking down the biggest bad guy, you get knocked out by none other than Van Horn? The guy that helped me this whole time to clear my name? Why?
Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
Right, so it turns out that this biggest bad guy is actually the nephew of Mr. Van Horn, who already knew he was fucked in the head and didn't want to risk me killing him trying to get him locked up. Okay, look. You're a great uncle and everything, and I'm sure he appreciates this and everything, but you're all dicks, and if you don't mind, I need to find and kill this motherfucker. Who is this? I don't know, honestly. He's popped up in different places all throughout the game and seems to be a figment of our imagination feeding off of our aggression. He's probably the entity possessing everybody in the city to turn rabid. And that is basically confirmed in this final, extremely difficult ending boss rush when you have to constantly move, deal with fat guys and fast, thin guys all attacking you at once, figure out the best times to heal with limited health packs, finally take down this evil bastard, rip off his motherfucking jaw, and then you're all set. After which you even get to decide if the biggest bad serial killer lives or dies by your hand. I personally chose not to shoot him, and that happened. And I really think at this point Ethan could do with a little holiday because he looks like total crap. And I don't mean that figuratively. He literally looks like a piece of crap. Oh no, Ethan couldn't control his anger after all this. I guess this is what sequels are made for.
So yeah, that was Condemned. I gotta admit, the paranormal manipulator metal jaw fucker was a bit out of nowhere for the end of the game, but overall, Condemned is still one of my favourite horror games of all time, and I highly recommend that you check it out. It's insanely fun to play while being tense and unnerving, and the realistic, gritty edge it has to it makes it all the more gruesome and memorable. I know it's November now, but if you're looking for a spook in your next game to play, then Condemned might give you that spook if you haven't played this game yet, and today it definitely gets the salvage. And as for Condemned 2, the sequel, not now. If it's your birthday today while watching this video, happy frickin' birthday to you. Happy late Halloween, everybody, and please remember to stay beautiful. I am taking all of this off because I am so fucking hot right now. And a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters on the screen right now. All of these people have donated a certain amount to the channel to help keep it alive during the whole adpocalypse and advertiser-friendly bullshit going on, and I can't thank each of these people enough. If you'd like to find out how to get your name in the credits or even have 24-hour ad-free early access to every single Caddicarus video, then just go to the description and consider donating. You don't have to, but that would be amazing if you do. Special thanks to Jugza Jaxa, Omar Matu, Patrick Ferguson, Basil, Andy Ellis, Robert Alamsha, I Have a Portal Gun, Gamer Man, Kane Stewart, Ellen Rilpley, Uni Hermit, Kirsten B, QB, Nathan Young, and Nicole Ganara. Thanks again, everybody.